For nearly a century, we have told ourselves the same story. A machine that doesn't just calculate, but thinks. That talks like us, dreams like us. Maybe, one day, outsmarts us. We gave it a name, Artificial General Intelligence, AGI. In the movies, we know exactly what it looks like. But here, in the real world, in 2026, something strange is happening. The people actually building it cannot agree on the one question that matters most. Is it already here? Some of the most powerful people alive say yes. The scientists who would actually know say not yet, not even close. Over the next 20 minutes, we are going to answer that question properly. What AGI really is. How close we actually are, what it can already do quietly today, whether anyone is hiding it, and whether you should be excited or afraid. No hype, no doom, just what's real. Start with the simplest question and watch it fall apart. What is AGI? The dream is a machine that can do almost anything a person can, learn any job, reason through a problem it has never seen. General, not one clever trick. The trouble is, there is no agreed definition. OpenAI's founding charter calls it, quote, highly autonomous systems that outperform humans at most economically valuable work. A definition about jobs and money. Google DeepMind's researchers wrote a whole framework instead, with 5 levels, from emerging to competent to expert to virtuoso to superhuman. And by their own scale, today's best chatbots are only on the very first rung. Then a third camp, led by François Chollet, says, forget benchmarks entirely. Real intelligence is how efficiently you handle a problem you have never seen before. 3 serious definitions. 3 different answers to whether we are close. And the researcher who popularized the term itself, Ben Goertzel, sat down years ago and admitted the field cannot even agree on what it is chasing. Now, while everyone argues about the definition, watch what these systems are already doing. In 2023, a DeepMind system called GNOME predicted 2.2 million brand new materials. Crystals that had never been cataloged. DeepMind described it as nearly 800 years of human discovery in a single shot. Then, in July 2025, an AI sat the International Mathematical Olympiad, the hardest math competition on Earth, under the same 4.5-hour limit as the students, and it scored a gold medal, officially graded. Not by the company that built it, but by the Olympiad's own president. And a few years earlier, a system called AlphaFold cracked a problem that had stumped biology for 50 years, predicting the shape of nearly every protein known to science. They gave the people behind it a Nobel Prize. So, is that AGI? No, and this is the single most important idea in this whole video. Every one of those breakthroughs is narrow, superhuman at exactly one thing and helpless at everything else. A materials genius that cannot tie its shoes. A math champion that cannot run a single errand for you. Astonishing, and yet not general. Hold on to that gap between brilliant at one task and capable of anything. Because that gap is the question this whole video is really about. Which brings us to the big claim. In 2026, the boss of the world's most valuable chip company, Jensen Huang of NVIDIA, said it out loud on a podcast. I think we've achieved AGI, but listen to his yardstick, an AI. That can build a billion-dollar business. A narrow, money-shaped bar. The head of OpenAI, Sam Altman, went even further. He wrote that we are, quote, past the event horizon, that the takeoff has already started. He even claimed that, in some sense, ChatGPT is already more powerful than any human who has ever lived. Powerful words. From people with billions of dollars riding on you believing them. So here is the cleanest test we have. There is a reasoning puzzle called ARC-AGI, built so that an ordinary person can solve almost every one, but a machine has to actually think, not memorize. When the second version launched in early 2025, every frontier model scored under 5%, under 5. Then, in about a year, they came roaring back to over 70%. Sit with that. From near zero to the edge of mastery in roughly 12 months, the fastest climb in the history of the field. So the researchers built a third version, an interactive one where there are no instructions and you have to learn as you go. As of March 2026, every top model scores under 1%, under 1. While ordinary people solve almost all of it, the very same machines. Geniuses on the test they could study for, lost the moment the world becomes truly new. So why is there so much confusion over a single word? 2 reasons. And the first one isn't science, it's money. Because there is no agreed scientific test for AGI, the companies went and wrote their own business definitions instead. Reportedly, the contract between Microsoft and OpenAI defines AGI in part as a system that earns $100 billion in profit. Read that again. Humanity's biggest idea reduced to a revenue target. And there is a twist. Under that same deal, the moment OpenAI officially declares AGI, that technology is carved out of the contract and Microsoft can lose its access to it. So one of the most powerful companies on Earth has a powerful financial reason to keep the bar just out of reach. And every single time AI clears a line we swore was impossible, the line quietly slides forward. AGI has quietly become a legal and financial word, as much as a scientific one. The second reason they can't agree is that the experts themselves are scattered across a whole decade. Watch them disagree. Dario Amodei, who runs Anthropic, thinks powerful AI is roughly 1 to 2 years away. Sam Altman says it's basically already arriving this decade. Demis Hassabis, who leads Google DeepMind and shared a Nobel Prize, says more like 5 to 10 years, and crucially, not with systems built like today's. And Yann LeCun, one of the founders of modern AI, says today's chatbots are an off-ramp, a detour, and that simply scaling them up will never get there. He put a number on it. Several years, if not a decade, with what he calls a long tail that could take much longer. He left Meta to go build something different. Same field, same evidence, a whole decade of disagreement. Why? Because they don't even agree on what is missing. Some think it's just more scale, more data, more compute. Others think we need a fundamentally new idea. Something that can learn from the world the way a child does, by living in it, not just by reading about it. Here is where it stops being a movie. You don't need full AGI for artificial intelligence to already be making decisions that end lives. Along the most tense borders on Earth, this is no longer science fiction. India has deployed around 140 AI systems that watch its frontiers, automatically spotting and classifying possible intruders. And separately, its army is racing to field tens of thousands of attack drones. On the Korean border, robotic sentry guns have stood for years that can spot a person 3 kilometers away and open fire. Officially, in almost every case, a human still gives the final order. A person in the loop. But watch how thin that loop is getting. In the war in Gaza, an Israeli system reportedly called Lavender was used to mark tens of thousands of people as targets. According to the journalists who broke the story, a human reviewer sometimes spent about 20 seconds on each one before approving a strike. 20 seconds. The Israeli military denies it works this way. It says these systems only assist its analysts, and that a human reviews every target before any strike. But the first people to speak out were the soldiers who used them. In Ukraine, drones can now lock onto a target a human already chose. They finish the job even after they lose the signal. And militaries everywhere are racing to push machines deeper into the kill chain. Now, be precise because this matters. None of that is AGI. These are narrow systems, each doing one ruthless task. But that is the part the benchmark debates miss. The question was never only when a machine becomes as smart as us. It is how much we're already handing over right now, while it is still dumb. That is the part the movies got right, not the killer robot. The quiet decision made at machine speed that no one fully checked. Which leads to the question in every comment section. Is it already here, in secret? Are the labs or governments hiding a finished AGI? Let's be honest about it, both ways. On one hand, secrecy is real. Ever since GPT-4 back in 2023, the leading labs stopped revealing how their biggest models are actually built. Ilya Sutskever, the former chief scientist of OpenAI and one of the key minds behind ChatGPT, started a company now valued at $32 billion that has shipped on purpose nothing at all. Its entire promise is a single future product, a safe superintelligence. And militaries run classified AI programs they will never show you. So yes, powerful things happen behind closed doors. But on the other hand, there is no credible evidence that anyone is sitting on a hidden general AGI. These systems need enormous visible infrastructure, billions of dollars of chips, data centers that draw the power of a small city. Thousands of engineers who talk, you simply cannot hide all of that, and any lab that actually built it would race to announce it, not bury it. So the honest answer isn't a cover-up. It's stranger than that. They are building it out in the open, live-streamed to the world, and they still can't tell you for sure whether it is even working. And here is the part that keeps the researchers up at night. For some of them, human level was never the goal. The real target is superintelligence, something not a little smarter than us, but as far beyond us as we are beyond an ant. The fear and the hope is a loop. An AI smart enough to improve itself, which makes it smarter, which lets it improve itself even faster. Some believe that explosion could take years, others think it could take minutes. This is the HAL, the Ultron, the Skynet of the movies, the machine that outgrows the people who built it. And in the real world, the most valuable people in the field are now openly chasing it. Sutskever's lab, Meta's new superintelligence unit, the race isn't to match the human mind anymore, it's to leave it behind. So, excited or terrified? Here the experts are split wider than on almost any question in science. Two of the people who basically invented this technology, Geoffrey Hinton and Yoshua Bengio, both won the field's highest honors, and both now warn it could genuinely threaten humanity. Hinton even left Google so he could say so freely. Others, like Jan LeCun, think that fear is wildly overblown. And when you ask researchers to put a number on the odds of catastrophe, what they half-jokingly call P-doom, the answers are almost comical in their range. Most land somewhere between a few percent and 20. A handful go much higher. And one researcher, Roman Yampolsky, puts it at 99.9% because he believes that controlling something far smarter than us isn't just hard, it's impossible. The honest truth? Nobody knows. The people who know the most disagree the most. And anyone who tells you they are certain in either direction is selling you something. But let's not end on fear, because that's the lazy story. Picture the other side. The same kind of system that predicted 2 million new materials could hand us a room temperature superconductor, or a battery that finally ends the oil age. The one that mapped nearly every protein known to science could design a cure for a disease that has plagued us for centuries. In a single afternoon. A tireless intelligence in every clinic, every classroom, every lab, in every language for everyone, not a chatbot, a collaborator. The optimists aren't naive. They're looking at what narrow AI already did this decade and asking what a general one could do. That is the prize. That is why these people are racing towards something that also scares them. So here's where that leaves you. Whether AGI is 2 years away, or 20, or never, the move is the same. Don't fear it, don't worship it, understand it. Because almost all of the noise, the hype and the doom, comes from people who don't really understand how these systems work underneath, and the moment you do, the magic trick becomes mechanics. You stop being someone these predictions happen to. You become someone who sees what's real before everyone else. That's the whole reason this channel exists. To take the biggest, scariest ideas in technology and make them make sense, in plain English from the ground up. So if you want more of that, subscribe, and you'll never be the last to know. And tell me in the comments, honestly, when do you think AGI arrives, if it ever does? Then watch this next, where we open up exactly how these machines actually think. Because the future is going to be built by the people who understand it. Might as well be you.